There are moments in life when we feel like we've been walking alone for too long. Like love is a story everyone else is living. And we're just sitting in the audience, waiting for our name to be called. But what if I told you? Love often arrives not when you chase it, but when you're finally ready to receive it. What if marriage isn't just about finding someone, but about becoming the version of yourself who's truly prepared to build with someone? You see, marriage is more than a ring or a ceremony. It's a divine alignment, a soulful connection, a journey of two people mirroring healing, magnifying growth, and becoming home for each other in a chaotic world. Many people pray for love, but don't realize that sometimes the answer to that prayer is hidden in small signs, spiritual shifts, emotional upgrades, divine synchronicities. You may feel like nothing's changing, but deep down, something is preparing you, shaping you, positioning you. And if you're experiencing any of the following, these are not coincidences. These may be the 4 sacred signs that your season of marriage is coming sooner than you think. And you've started healing instead of hiding. There's a moment in your journey when you no longer seek to numb the pain, but to understand it. When you stop running from your wounds and start learning what they were trying to teach you. That's when healing begins. You see, many people want marriage, but they carry unhealed hurt like it's part of their personality. They want love to fix them, not realizing love can't fix what you won't face. The fact that you're now choosing to face the mirror instead of avoiding it, to sit with your brokenness instead of masking it, shows something powerful. You're not waiting for someone to save you. You're becoming your own rescue. You no longer say, I need someone to complete me. You say, I'm learning to complete myself, and I'll share that wholeness with someone worthy. This is a divine shift. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Roomy, and when the light starts to enter, your soul softens. Your heart strengthens. Your spirit aligns. This healing becomes your magnet. Because a healed person doesn't chase love, they attract it. And often, just after you've cleaned your space, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you realize love was just waiting for you to be ready to receive it with open, healed hands. Gritho, healed hands. 2, you no longer crave chaos. You're drawn to calm. There was a time when drama felt like home. When being ignored made you chase harder. When inconsistency was mistaken for passion. When loud arguments were confused with deep love. But now, you pause before reacting. Now, peace feels more magnetic than intensity. Now you don't need someone to keep you guessing. You want someone who keeps you grounded. That shift is not small. That shift means you're preparing for a partner, not a project. A project. It means your nervous system no longer sees emotional chaos as comfort. It now recognizes stillness as safety. A peace does not mean to be in a place with no noise or trouble. It means to be in the midst of all that and still. And when you start choosing calm over conflict, clarity over confusion, silence over shouting, your energy changes. And when your energy changes, so does the kind of love you attract. You stop looking for someone to excite your trauma and start looking for someone. This is one of the most sacred signs. You are not only ready for love, you are ready for peace and love. You are no longer addicted to the idea of intensity. You are committed to the feeling of emotional stability. And that, right there, is the space where marriage can grow. Numbed. Not in firestorms, but in warm, steady flames 3. You've started loving your own company. This is one of the most overlooked signs that you're getting closer to finding your life partner. See, most people think love starts when 2 people meet, but real love, it starts when you stop fearing being alone, because only when you're comfortable with your own presence can you truly offer presence to someone else. You no longer date out of desperation. You're not chasing connection to avoid loneliness. You're embracing solitude as a sacred teacher. Until you learn to sit with yourself in silence, you'll never know the loudest parts of your soul. You've stopped texting people who disturb your peace. You've stopped begging for energy that barely acknowledges your worth. You've deleted numbers, blocked chaos, and finally said, I would rather be alone than half loved. That's the moment your vibration rises. Because here's the truth. People who truly love their own company become magnets for partners who are whole, not wounded. They attract people who don't need to be completed, but who come to complement their peace. You're no longer afraid of quiet nights. You're not rushing to fill the silence. You've made peace your home, and the universe, it sees that you're no longer looking for someone to save you. You're simply waiting for someone to sit beside you, without disturbing your stillness. That's when love walks in, not as a rescue mission, but as a recognition of your peace. 4. Your heart has finally forgiven the past, this one? It's powerful, and it's not easy. But when your heart truly lets go, love has room to walk in. Because here's what most people don't realize. You don't attract a loving partner by wishing for one. You attract them by becoming the version of you who's no longer anchored to old pain. Too old. You see, if you're still holding on to that heartbreak from years ago, still replaying the betrayal, still living in the memory of someone who didn't see your worth, then even if the right person shows up, you'll push them away. Not because they're wrong. Not because they're wrong, but because you're still bleeding from wounds that were never allowed to heal. You cannot welcome the sunrise if you're still staring at the ashes. Forgiveness is not approval. It's not about saying they were right. It's about saying, I choose peace. When you've forgiven, truly, you stop comparing. You stop assuming new love will hurt like the old did. You stop sabotaging what could be sacred. Forgiveness clears the room. It removes the noise. And in that stillness, you're finally ready to receive love without fear. Because now, your heart is no longer a battlefield. It's become fertile ground. Where love can grow, where trust can bloom, where the past no longer speaks louder than your... So if your heart has softened, if you've released that bitterness, if you feel more compassion than revenge, that's a sign that love is getting closer. And this time, you'll be ready to hold it with both hands, not out of need, but out of quiet, steady peace. The divine timing of love, there's a kind of waiting that hurts. The kind where your soul feels forgotten, where your pillow knows more prayers than your voice ever spoke aloud, where every wedding invitation you receive feels like both joy and ache. But let me tell you this, your wait is not a punishment. You see, love, true love, does not rush. It does not come dressed in desperation or confusion. It comes in timing so divine, you'll one day laugh at all the nights you thought it would never arrive. Sometimes the delay was protection. Sometimes the silence was preparation, and sometimes the loneliness was God reshaping you to receive a kind of love that won't hurt you like the ones before did. Sometimes God delays the arrival of love, not because He has forgotten you, but because He is perfecting it. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not forgotten. You are just becoming the version of yourself who can hold the kind of love that doesn't leave when life gets hard. Because marriage isn't a fairy tale ending, it's a beginning. A partnership forged in sacrifice, patience, and real devotion. If you've seen the signs, if your heart feels lighter, your soul clearer, your wounds less loud, then maybe, just maybe, love is closer than you think. But even if it's not tomorrow, even if it's not this month, even if the world still looks at you and wonders why you're still a single, remember this, you're not just waiting for a person, you're waiting for alignment, for purpose to meet companionship, for peace to walk hand in hand with passion. So keep becoming, keep healing, keep choosing to believe that the love written for you is already making its way into your story. And when it comes, you'll know, not because the butterflies tell you, but because your soul will be still, inundated, because it will feel like coming home, and you'll realize it was always worth the wait.